7,000 federal jobs. There's 158,000 people that are being paid not to do anything that are about to go off payroll. Is really going to have a significant impact on the Virginia economy. And I think most voters in Northern Virginia are looking for elected officials who are going to stand up and fight these job cuts and fight the Trump administration, unlike Glenn Youngkin, Winsome Sears, Jason Miyares, or James Walkinshaw's opponent, who has basically said, he wants to make DOJ permanent and become a cheerleader for everything that Trump's doing. That's, I think, the number one issue in Northern Virginia right now that I think most people are looking for as a fighter, and that's what James Walkinshaw is going to do.
Let's talk about the Virginia governor's race. Democratic candidate Abigail Spanberger appears to be opening up a sizable polling and financial advantage over Republican candidate Winsome Earl Sears. What do you think Spanberger's strategy should be going ahead into the race's final months?
Well, you saw it today. I mean, I think the number one issue for Virginia right now is what the federal government is doing to us. We're number 2 in federal employment in the entire United States of America. It's a huge part of our economy, not just in Northern Virginia, but also in Hampton Roads, and even in other parts of the state. There's a lot of federal work and contracting and stuff that percolates throughout. I think these tariffs are a real big problem. They're basically taxes on Virginians. Abigail has sort of spoken out repeatedly about this stuff. Winsome Sears says it's all good, looks great to her. Everything will be fine, which is, I don't think anybody is buying that stuff. I think that's why you're seeing Abigail with usually between a 12 and 7-point lead. She's, raised 4 times more money than Winsome Sears, who can't even figure out who her campaign manager is. So it's I think it's sizing up to be a big victory for Spanberger.
Little more than a minute left. Here's Tom Sherwood.
The job report that came out today was horrible, that there are far fewer jobs in the last couple of months. Jobs nationally were reported, far fewer jobs than, I think 158,000 down to 14,000 jobs in one of those months. It seems to me that the economy itself, people are still worried, even though stock market seems to be doing well and people have jobs. There are a lot of people who are not being hired. Does that help you?
I mean, we've already seen this in Virginia. I mean, unemployment has been rising in Virginia every month for, I think, the last 6 months, especially in Northern Virginia. So this is not news to us. And it's not a surprise given all the economic uncertainty that the Trump administration has inflicted. When you don't know if your tariff is going to be 5% or 35 or 50%, it causes you to stop spending, stop hiring, stop making investments. We've seen layoffs all across Virginia. And, Virginia, we do a lot of trade. We have a huge port in Virginia. These tariffs are big to us. And the lack of federal spending, the uncertainty of that is causing all these government contractors to pull back. So, I've been concerned. I've been raising the concern. Our governor just seems to think everything's fine. The attorney general never wants to do anything to stop layoffs. He just sits there and cheerleads. I'm really concerned about the economy, especially here in the DMV and in Virginia as well, because we're so federally dependent.
Scott Surovell, thank you so much for joining us.